So today you are going to be working on process journal entry number 5 if you have finished process journal number 1, 2, 3, and 4. You cannot move on to this step if you have not picked your topic and created an idea for a product that you think you're going to do. So make sure you're caught up. So if you've missed classes or you've been working on homework and advisement, try to pick today as a day that you come back and make sure that you are finished with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Process journal entry number 5 is big, but I do want to give you that warning that I recognize that. So I've built in a makeup day for the next time we have a personal project day in advisement for you to get caught up. So if you're caught up, next time you're going to be working with classmates to get feedback. If you're caught up and you're ready to do number 5, then next time you'll be getting feedback from your classmates on this section. So just be aware there's some flexibility because picking a topic that's good and being ready to go is kind of a messy process, but we want to make sure that everyone has time to get the topic that's right for them, that they can truly accomplish in the time frame we have, because we have very limited time and advisement to do this. But we want to make sure everyone's successful since this is practice towards a capstone that is a graduation requirement if you aren't going to do all the big tests in 11th and 12th grade to make sure you're ready to graduate. So these are really good skills to be practicing before you get to capstone in 11th or 12th grade, depending on how things shake out in the next couple of years. So let me show you process journal entry number 5. Then I'm going to show you the rubric so you know where we're going, and then I'll show you those examples. So the process journal entry, I know it looks big. That's why I've given you time. One of the big pieces of the process or the personal project is that you get to decide what success looks like. No one else can tell you what it looks like because everyone has a different topic. And at the end of the project, you're going to reflect on whether you were successful. So let me go back and remind you of this piece that we looked at. We are in the investigating planning process as you're picking what you will be successful in. When we get to the end of the project, you're going to reflect on whether you were successful. So this is where you're preparing to be able to do this step to go back and forth between were you successful of what you planned and were you successful of the action you took based on the goal you set today. So this is very early on. So this is just the brainstorming piece of what you think success might look like. And we're going to expand on this in October. So let me show you the rubric first, and then I'll show you examples. Personal project rubric. So in February, March-ish, you are going to be working on reflecting on your project. So that's why creating what a really good success criteria of what success looks like to you is really important in the September-October phase so that when you get to writing about were you successful, you can actually say, yes, I was successful because you have a great list to give good reasons or cause for why you were successful in this project or not. Do not worry about whether you might not be able to do this project. Part of what I've seen from students when they aren't able to accomplish their project is that they can still get a good grade because they reflect on what went wrong. That's a huge part of learning, is learning from those mistakes. But if you don't have good success criteria of a list of what it would look like, it's really hard to go back and say, here's why I didn't accomplish it. So be thoughtful in this process of what you know you are personally capable of accomplishing with all of the other commitments in your life. So that's where you're headed. And then here's some examples of simple success criteria. We'll expand these later. So these are small just to get you going on that brainstorming thinking process. So trying to give examples that are kind of all over the place. Maybe you want to do a project on how music affects concentration or focus for academic tasks or homework, depending on how cell phone rules shake out. That maybe when we are really strict on no music in classes, you could still make that part of your project that when you're not allowed to listen to music, you would create a ranking system for the improvement or decline in your focus. So for me, I have ADHD, so I have really strict rules for myself about what I need to do to be successful in work. For you, it would be school. But all through my schooling, I had to be really careful and learn some important skills how to manage my ADHD to be successful in classes. So this was something I had to do just in general, even though I didn't do a personal project because my high school was only IB for 11th and 12th grade. So maybe you create a ranking system and look at your mental health or your success, or use your weekly grade checks that determine your success if you're doing a project on music. Or maybe if you're doing something with sports and mental health, and create a data sample for how you would do trends in your mental health. Um, and then you would track your moods and look at overall trends when you're actively participating in sports, or when you're not able to. Family commitments or ineligibility. That's always a thing. Ineligibility. I can't believe I forgot that one, guys. Um, Maybe you are going to create a memory quilt of favorite old t-shirts that no longer fit, but they were really special and you don't want to get rid of them. If you're still new to learning how to sew, be thoughtful about how big you actually could make a quilt in this time frame. If you're really good with a sewing machine, maybe you could set a bigger success criteria because you know this is something you'd be able to accomplish. Um, Creating a fundraiser. I've seen this one before where students thought that they could raise $100, and it turns out they didn't know anything about what animal shelters were available or how they would fundraise. And they were working between two languages, and it was really challenging. And they set way too big of a goal and weren't able to accomplish it. So be thoughtful. Maybe $100 would be too much that you could actually do as if you were doing a fundraiser as a project. These are just some ideas. Um, I've seen a lot of kids struggle when they pick car topics. This is a really exciting topic that I know a lot of students love to do. Be thoughtful of what you could actually accomplish. If you don't have access to a car mechanic or a garage, be careful about what you pick as a topic. Maybe you want to shrink your topic down to what Warren Tech program I would want to do or apply for or work towards so that I'm really eligible when I apply next year to get into one of those programs, because that's more realistic of what you could accomplish. So be thoughtful in your success criteria. Remember, you're going to come back and reflect on it at the end of the year. Were you successful? And you have today and the next personal project day to work on this guaranteed before we start looking at the paper for 10th graders. This is going to be a smaller piece for 9th graders. So that's where you're headed. Please reach out if you have questions. I will be around to help in each class. I will try to balance between classes that reach out for help and just popping in. Even if I come in on days that aren't personal project, I'm here to help, and there's a lot of you I'm trying to get around to. So please write questions down if you really need to get in touch with me, or you have your teacher tell me to come in. I will try to prioritize those that reach out. I will be around and talk to you guys soon.